in the upper.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit ReliefFactor.com today.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. It is Monday, and I could think of no better way to start the show after much deliberation with my multiple personalities than this.
Oh, say, can you see
UFC fight.
by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I'm going to tell you, what a night. What a night. And we are halfway through this year. We are halfway through the 250th birth year of our nation. It is remarkable. I live here, and now I know more than I know that there's a reason why we're here. I know there's a reason why we've been through all of this nonsense. I know there's a reason why. Donald Trump survived 4 assassination attempts, and all of this to make it to our 250th year. I told you, and I believe this from the depths of my soul, we will overwhelm the left with joy and faith and patriotism, and they will shrink into hell. And you wanted me to give you an example? Let me give you an example. This is Bette Midler singing at the idiotic leftist counter rally to the UFC event on Capitol Hill, celebrating President's Day, or I should say Flag Day, Donald Trump's birthday, and my daughter's 21st birthday. I'll just throw that in there.
Oh, you fascists bound to lose. You're bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. Hey there, all you fascists, let me put you straight. When you come for the rest of us, we'll fight you at the gate, and you will lose, you fascists bound to lose.
The only problem is we're not fascists. That's the only problem. You can say we're fascists all you want. You can march around and stomp your feet and do all of this and say that Trump's a Nazi and white supremacist, and you're, by the way, saying that we are as well. But you're wrong, you see. That's why your argument is at best specious and at worst demonic. Honestly, laughable. You idiots just look so bad, just so terrible at your dumb rally. What the hell do they call that stupid thing anyway? Hold on, I got it here somewhere. The Democrat Party it was the Rise Up, Sing Out, a concert for the First Amendment. Oh, from the people who told us our opinions were disinformation, misinformation, and even if they were correct but disagreed with Joe Biden's administration, it was malinformation. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! What a weekend I had! I wish I could have taken you with me. It was glorious. I started off Saturday. Go to Instagram, Rob Carson Show. Instagram, Rob Carson Show. I just went down to the reflecting pool. I went to the Lincoln Memorial. I just grabbed people to talk to them. I talked to a gentleman who came from India originally. He is now a brother of mine as a citizen of America. He became a citizen in 1982, and he talked about how wonderful the country was. I ran into people from Cincinnati. I ran into people from everywhere, and I just stopped and talked to him. Go to Instagram at Rob Carson Show just to see 40 minutes of me walking around, and then topping it off by going up and seeing the Lincoln Memorial, the reflecting pool. There is algae in it. There is some kind of green algae. It's not the algae blooms and the goose crap that existed there when Joe Biden was the president. Some people are saying that may have been sabotaged, but I think that, and what I believe is what the administration has said, that when they filled it up, it went through a water system that had algae in it, and algae grew, and they're not gonna like I say, hey man, you know what? Why don't we just do it? Just shock it like you do your swimming pool in the spring when your swimming pool turns green under the cover there. If you got a swimming pool, you know what I'm talking about. This is why it's better to have friends with a swimming pool and not actually have a swimming pool. But you can't do that because it's the reflecting pool on the National Mall, so no chemicals and all that. Regardless, it was beautiful, and regardless, it was joyous. It was joyous. They were getting ready for the USC event. And then Saturday night, I went down to this wonderful little thoroughfare called King Street in Old Town Alexandria, Virginia, where I call home. And I walked down the street there, and we saw the tall ships. The tall ships coming in for the 250th anniversary. I can't believe I live here. By the grace of God, I live here. I went down and I saw the tall ships, and then we sat there and we watched fireworks, and they were extraordinary fireworks. And there were fireworks, of course, at the UFC event. They were just incredible. By the way, Donald Trump promising for July 4th the greatest fireworks display in world history. That's what he's promising. That's why I'm trying to book a hotel, not having a lot of luck with a view anywhere near the National Mall. That said, I go up the street, and I'm a good friend of mine down there. He's a busker, and he plays guitar, and his name is Christian Gonzalez. 24-year-old kid, can play anything. And he just decided to hook his phone up to his PA and play music over that and play along with his guitar. And a lot of it was, he started off with some line dances. He started off with the electric slide and the cha-cha slide and the Macarena. And then he moved into some world music, Hispanic music for the countries represented. There's some Brazilians there and Colombians there and all of this. And we went out in the middle of the street and we all danced together. We danced together in joy, and people talking about how much they love America. And I'm over here, and I don't drink, right? So I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm the life of the party because I'm joyful. And I'm on King Street, and they bring me in, and there's this kind of hippie, like 60-something-year-old, and I'm talking about hips, not like hippie, like, headband in 1960 smoking. No, I'm talking about kind of hippie, South American woman. And she grabs me by the arm, and I immediately launch into, I don't even know where it came from. Something channeled me, but I danced with her like I was, in Nicaragua, whatever, and I'm dancing around. All of a sudden, I look up, and the crowd is chanting, "Go, go, go," to me, about me. I'm like, how is this happening? The people in my party were like, who are you? Who are you? But I let the joy of the moment take over me, and it was just fantastic. It was just fantastic, and there was no awfulness of the Democrat Party. All of these whiny little crybabies who hate the fact that Donald Trump is the president during the 250th anniversary of our glorious country, because they hate the country and they really hate our president. 7 of them are not coming to this national state fair. They got all these states coming. 43 states are coming to sell their wares and show off on the National Mall coming up here. It's a national state fair. 7 Democrat states have decided not to participate because Donald Trump is the president, even though it's our 250th birthday of our country. That's not going to change. It is just so fantastic. Excuse me. I had to do a little throat clear there because, This weekend was so extraordinary, and we're only 6 months in. We're only 6 months in. We've still got July the 4th. We've still got the big trip that I'm doing with you guys, October 25th through the 29th through downtown D.C. We've still got the Grand Prix race. They're going to do a Grand Prix race through Washington, D.C., and Donald Trump and the patriotic Americans are driving these awful Democrats into hell. I told you that the Democrat Party is doing a death spiral into hell, and if they don't want to be here for the party, they're not invited. We will extend an invitation if you want to show up and not be a complete a-hole, but you're choosing to be that. So, you know, the petulant person who doesn't want to go to the wedding reception because maybe they don't like the groom or whatever. That's that kind of vibe going on. So, you know, you extend an invite, and when they say no, screw you, leave them in the dust. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? You should have seen David Brooks and Jonathan Capehart stop it on I guess it was MS Now, talking about how lowbrow it was to have a USC fight. It was like James Watts saying that the Beach Boys would bring the wrong element. That happened in the Reagan administration. I was in high school when that happened. How well's that going to work out for you? How well's that going to work out for you? So they were making fun of it. They were like, oh, you know, they didn't have authors and they didn't have PBS commentators. They had a fight and all of that. But you know what? Nobody cared. Nobody cared about them because hundreds of thousands of people were here, and they're in our country. They're all over our country. They're in Kansas City. They're in Chattanooga. They're in L.A. They're coming from the world, all these countries, and they're loving America. They're eating biscuits and gravy for the first time. They're going to Buc-ee's for the first time. They're walking through neighborhoods where they don't have to worry about being mugged, and they're having people say hi to them, and they're enjoying unlimited beverage refills at pizza joints, and they can't believe it. And they're going back to their countries and going, I want more America. Meanwhile, Sonny Hostin says, we haven't lived up to the promise of America. Again, screw you, Sonny Hostin, and you people who are so spoiled and entitled, who hate America even though you were born here, and those who came here just to be a part of a grift. You from Somalia who did this. You from Bhutan who did this. Honestly, I have no room for you in my life, and the country is moving on without you. You live in hate and darkness. We're living in joy and faith and patriotism. I was right about this, and we are in what will be remembered as one of the greatest years of our lives, if not the greatest year of our lives. And to top it all off this weekend, Donald Trump knocked off the leader of Trinidad and Tobago, and we have an Iran peace deal. My God, Joe Biden would have been on vacation, and Kamala Harris would have opened the border again, and Washington, D.C. would still be a cesspool filled with graffiti, drug dealers, overridden with crime. But by the grace of God, Donald Trump was elected, and we're in charge now. There you go. Lots to get to on the show. The number is 800-922-6680, and this is The Rob Carson Show.
MHIC 118-795.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to Newsmax.com/listen for details.
We're indoors. We could not have wrote a script better. Oh my God! The fireworks are playing.
Wow, what a weekend in Washington, D.C., a UFC fight that was absolutely amazing. I was down there Saturday. I was meeting people going to the UFC fight. I was in Alexandria, saw these young guys. One was wearing an Uncle Sam hat. I said, "Where are you going, guys?" "We're going to the UFC fight, sir." They like my truck, Buck, because I got American flags in the back, and then I got a big 250 bumper sticker and an FJB, that's a bleep Joe Biden emblem on the back of my truck. And they were like, "We're going to the UFC fight, sir." I'm like, "You guys have a good time." And my God, we had a good time. we had a good time. America 250. I was a kid in elementary school when the 200th anniversary happened, and America came together. They even pressed a quarter. They had a bicentennial quarter. Remember that? Bicentennial, by the way, you Democrats. It has nothing to do with your sexuality. It's not like a non-binary quarter. It's a quarter that celebrated the 200th. But it did have it had heads and tails, which if you're non-binary, I guess you can go for either one of them. Anyway, it was a great time. But now this Democrat Party not only hates America so much, and they really do. They hate America so much. That's why D.C. became such a crap hole. That's why America became such a crap hole when Joe Biden was the president, because he made it a crap hole. He opened the southern border to just show how much he hated America. And now that Donald Trump is the president, and it is by the grace of God he is the president this year. Could you imagine Kamala Harris or Joe Biden as the president in the 250th anniversary of our birth, when Joe Biden was the guy who got rid of the Mount Rushmore fireworks just to be a D word for Richard, and they are back. So we had that going on, and then here's this big, this idiotic and small. If you are down with these people, you are mentally ill, you are small, you're an effeminized man, and you live with a crazy cat lady who is the stronger one in your relationship, and she bosses you around, and either that or she just lives by herself and has a lot of cats. But either way, you're academic snots. And here's what you guys did Saturday night.
No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. Not this time. No one is getting left behind this time. How do we get there? Together or never get there at all.
It's so terrible. I would be so embarrassed if you're sitting there and you're watching this. Maybe it was on PBS. I don't even know it was on. What an embarrassment you are! Oh my God, what a just a bunch of clowns, honestly. And then of course the Weather Channel tried to whiz on Saturday night, and again by the grace of God, the clouds were parted. And did you see the iconic picture with the lightning strike above the Washington Monument, and the clouds clearing so the event could happen on Saturday night? But the Weather Channel attempted to deter people from attending the UFC Freedom 250. They literally did, that poor weather threatening to delay the outdoor fights on top of the storm risk. Brutal DC humidity is driving a triple-digit heat index alongside massive swarms of mosquitoes. I never saw a damn mosquito. I haven't been bit once. And gnats that fighters will have to battle inside the cage, while the venue's massive 92-foot overhang will keep the octagon dry. A single lightning strike within 8 miles will trigger an automatic 30-minute freeze on the entire event. UFC Freedom 250 is facing a chaotic weather setup on the White House South Lawn, with a 60% chance of thunderstorms, heavy downpours, and wind gusts up to 34 miles per hour, threatening to delay outdoor fights. And guess what? It cleared up just in time. and it was beautiful. Meanwhile, at the Idiot Fest over there, I don't know what the weather was like. Who really gives a rat's behind, by the way? I mentioned David Brooks and Jonathan Capehart just sitting around like little old hens complaining about how lowbrow a UFC fight is. This is the left, by the way. Fighting has always been a storied tradition in world history, starting with the gladiators, let alone on Capitol Hill at the White House, because, we were born of a fight. We were born of a revolution. But these snots would never know that.
But what do you make of this?
Well, I first thought of who are the artists John F. Kennedy brought to the White House? It was like W.H. Auden, Robert Frost, Jerome Robbins, Leonard Bernstein. And now we've got cage fighting.
Yeah.
Don't anybody say America's in cultural decline.
Wow.
So I just thought.
And listen to Jonathan Capehart.
Well, look, to your point, presidents have traditionally sought validation from established cultural institutions and artists.
Yes.
As I'm saying this, I'm looking at what people have called the claw on the South Lawn.
The claw is pretty cool.
President Trump has created this alternative cultural establishment around combat sports and podcasts and
parts of podcasts. We could have we could have Ralph Waldo Emerson's ghost there,
influencer
reading poetry,
and social media stars. How significant is that shift, and what does it suggest?
Well, it's a significant shift because it's the president of the United States who's anointing it.
Yes.
Whenever a president.
Meanwhile, we had a president who went on vacation 40% of the time, then 60% after he dropped out of the race because he had dementia, and then we had Bill Clinton banging everybody he could in the Oval Office and staining dresses.
Invites someone from the culture into the White House. It's giving the imprimatur of the president.
The imprimatur.
Excuse me, President Obama brought in Lin-Manuel to do what then became Hamilton. So there, you're
wow, it's really laughable. It's really laughable. I'm glad we're on this side, really. I'm glad we're the Walmart shoppers. They can go shop at Saks Fifth Avenue as far as I'm concerned and have their authors. I'd prefer to watch an MMA fight. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
Start spreading the news. Ice is coming your way. Tom Homan will be cracking down in New York, New York. Illegals will lose freedom if they stay. There's no way ICE is backing down in New York, New York. Mom Donnie and Kathy Hochul, they do not care that illegals reside most everywhere. The sanctuary city's going away, 'cause ICE is gonna clean it up. I mean New York, New York, like they did in D.C. They will make history just like they'll do in New York, New
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we were meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, might be time to declare your independence from pain. I take Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I'm able to crush it at the gym and ride 30 miles on a mountain bike on Saturday mornings. Relief Factor. It's 100% drug-free, research-based formula designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. It's not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from inside out at the source. Relief Factor was created so people could get back to living life on their terms, walking, working, exercising, enjoying the moments that matter. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. To commemorate, they're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. Yeah, your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. ReliefFactor.com or 800-4-RELIEF.
Now back to the Rob Carson Show, presented by Paramount Plus.
Ed Burlett, treasurer.
Key and Peele bit. Here we go.
Well, first of all, I do think it's a big moment for the United States.
It is a Rob Carson show. I've got some audio here from J.D. Vance about the Iranian
Well,
peace
first of
deal.
all, I do think it's a big moment for the United States of America, thanks, of course, to the President's leadership and the hard work of the entire team.
Let me start it again.
Well, first of all, I do think it's a big moment for the United States of America, thanks, of course, to the President's leadership and the hard work of the...
Yeah, what did you do this weekend? Well, Donald Trump had a giant UFC fight that was the biggest UFC event in world history on the White House lawn, viewed by hundreds of millions of people around the world. Let's see. Oh, he also killed the leader of Tren de Aragua in Venezuela. And then, of course, an Iranian peace deal. Other than that, didn't do much.
Entire team. Three things that I think are important for the American people just to appreciate about what this deal does for all of us as Americans. Number one, this is the immediate opening of the Straits of Hormuz.
Yeah, oil is down below $80 a gallon today.
Of course, the lifting of the
barrel, I should say barrel.
Blockade that we've had.
I was thinking $80 a gallon. That's California.
On Iran along with it. The number two thing that it means is that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, and not just pursue a nuclear weapon, but procure or try to buy a nuclear weapon as well. That's built into this agreement. And then the third thing is, and this only happens, to be clear, if Iran delivers on their promise. And so there's an approach here where we verify and where there are real benefits so long as Iran meets their end of the obligation. But if the Iranians comply with his deal, it is going to fundamentally transform the Middle East for the next
millennial peace for the Middle East.
Next 50 years. It's going to end the war. It's going to make the Middle East more investable. It's going to mean a lot of prosperity.
Finding all the terrorist proxies of Iran around the world.
Lower energy prices for the American people. This region of the world has been a basket case for my entire life and longer than that. And what the president has really set us to do is to certainly eliminate the nuclear threat of Iran. That's done. But now possibly to build to a new era of Middle East prosperity and success where it's not a region of the world where the United States has to worry about so much, but where, frankly, we can generate a lot of prosperity for the American people out of that region. That's a very, very big win.
Yeah, it is kind of a big win, but Barack Obama, he was being and whining about it because he thinks he was a good president or something. Here is Barack Obama on the Iran deal, and of course, just being a bitter little man with a bad library in Chicago that's over budget, and they haven't paid the contractors. And we'll get to that in a minute.
It is doubtful that any agreement that arises is going to be significantly different.
Well, we didn't give them pallets of cash. There's that. The hundreds of millions of dollars in pallets of cash, or the billions and billions and billions of dollars in their frozen assets so they could build nuclear weapons.
Significant improvement from the deal that we had.
No, it's a hell of a lot better, actually.
In the first place. And had worked for a long stretch of time.
Well, how were they able to get all that nuclear material during Joe Biden's administration then there, Junior?
Before the United States pulled out of it. So I'm hopeful that
you were hopeful that we'd lose. You were hopeful that Donald Trump would be embarrassed and all. That's what you were hopeful for.
Bombing stops and ordinary people are no longer suffering as a consequence.
You bombed so many people. You bombed more people than we did since World War II when you were president.
To the war. And then, in retrospect, it's a reminder that on a lot of difficult foreign policy problems, the notion that we can just bully our way or bomb our way to solutions
we stopped the bombing 9 weeks ago. We
may sometimes seem appealing, but the fact
I just can't listen to him anymore. He's no longer the president. Screw him. I have no time for his nonsense anymore, to be honest. Yawn. He rode a bike side saddle, for God's sake. Well, rode a bike side saddle. Then there was one of the UFC fighters. I didn't think this was I didn't think it was very cool, actually. He said that Michelle Obama was a dude. I wasn't too crazy about that. Here he is, a UFC fighter. Hold on a second. I'm trying to remember this guy's name. Josh Hokett decided to. Listen. I don't care if Michelle Obama is a dude. I don't think she is. Whatever. But I thought it was kind of high schoolish to say this. But anyway, here he is saying Michelle Obama was a man, and it of course generated a lot of clicks, and it trended on social media.
Alex Pereira, I want a shama on your mama. And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Okay, whatever. I don't know. I know. Does that make me a party pooper to say, can we just be kind of adults here? Why do you need to say that? Why did you need to say that of all things, honestly? All you're doing is you're giving them a little bit of ammunition, so they'll be like, oh, you're a homophobe, you're a whatever phobia, whatever. I'm not into that. This caused the Democrat Party to shrink up and collapse like vampires being splashed with holy water. Brazilian fighter Mauricio Ruffy did not enter the octagon at UFC Freedom 250 as a crowd favorite in his bout against Iron Michael Chandler, but he left the octagon as a favorite. Ruffy used his post-fight interview to praise Jesus Christ. Specifically, he quoted John 3:16, called people to give their lives to Christ, which of course caused the left to like I said, basically act like vampires being hit with holy water.
For everything, Dana White, Hunter, congratulations. Spectacular event. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. And I have a message. In John chapter 3, verse 16, say, for God so loved the world.
He can't say that on government property. It's the separation church state.
That he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Jesus changed my life. Jesus saved my life. Jesus want to save your life too. Give your life to Jesus. Thank you so much.
There you go. Just cause the Democrats to do this.
Soul is mine.
You never hear a leftist say, Joseph Stalin saved my life. Mao saved my life. Yeah. Oh, man, that must have really made an old Jonathan Capehart's, head explode because, he thought it was so lowbrow to have a UFC fight. They would have rather had someone there reading Chaucer. Whoever Chaucer is, whatever Chaucer. So ridiculous. Go listen to NPR. Shut up. Trump says the U.S. military eliminated the infamous Tren de Aragua leader in lethal strike. Tren de Aragua leader Nino Guerrero killed in a Southcom lethal kinetic strike. President Trump on Friday night announced the U.S. Southern Command, the Southcom, delivered a swift and lethal kinetic strike to successfully execute Hector Rusenford Guerrero Flores, also known as Nino Guerrero, the infamous leader of Tren de Aragua. He has caused untold death and destruction in the United States of America. When they opened the southern border, Joe Biden opened the southern border, and I guess what was his name from Chris Van Hollen wanted to have a margarita with him, but they killed him. The U.S. Department of State previously offered $5 billion for the arrest or conviction of this guy, 43 years old. Trump said, before I return to office, Joe Biden opened our southern border to millions of illegal criminals, allowed this foreign army to rape, maim, murder American citizens with total impunity. During my campaign, I pledged to expel these monsters from our country. Chris Van Hollen chose to have a margarita with them, bring justice to the family of those slaughtered, including the precious 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary, 22-year-old Laken Riley, and countless other beautiful souls. Promise made, promise delivered. Once again, thank you much, by the great Donald Trump. Here's Jim Gossett.
His name was Nino Guerrero.
He's toast.
The military took him out. His gang's future is in doubt. A drug kingpin in Venezuela.
Boom!
Once his whereabouts were known, to pieces he was blown by a Southern Command. The airstrikes went as planned. The troops that pulled it off, let's give them a hand. Tren de Aragua, leaders not breathing. I bet that their members are seething.
Yeah.
It is curtains for Tren de Aragua.
A little nervous.
We're not a friend of. We'll soon see the end of Tren de Aragua.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You're going down.
What happens when you have a president with cojones?
Better leave town.
Big cojones.
Nino Guerrero. They'll bury him in a sombrero. Nino Guerrero. If they replace him, then Trump will displace him like Guerrero.
Yeah.
Met his demise.
Brand new from Jim Gossett. Go to patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. Patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Pay attention, Brian.
WCBM.
It is a Rob Carson Show. Monday. What a Monday. What a Monday. Got a peace deal with Iran going to be signed on Friday. The leader of Trinidad had a misola stuck up his rear, whatever. And he dead, the leader of Trinidad. That's the weekend. And then, of course, a massive UFC fight on the White House grounds, and it was going to rain, and the clouds parted, and the sun shone, and it ended up being a beautiful, beautiful night. Just a beautiful night. And that night I went down, and I saw fireworks and tall ships, and I danced my butt off with a bunch of FIFA fans, a bunch of soccer fans in town, just loving America. Just loving America. Oh my gosh. And meanwhile, you've got the left just hating America. They don't want to take part in anything. They tried to shut down the UFC fight. That was brilliant. Tried to shut down the UFC fight so all of the money spent to put up the cage and everything would be taken down, but it failed. It failed. Everything they do, everything the Democrat Party does is turns to crap. By the way, I also went down to Union Station this Saturday, drove around Columbus Circle, saw the fountains and videotaped that. It's on my social media at Rob Carson Show. And then if you want to see my tour down there by the reflecting pool, the new reflecting pool, and the Lincoln Memorial, go to Instagram at Rob Carson Show. It's up there. And then I shared it from there on all my other social media. But I think you'll enjoy it. I just grab people off the street and talk to them and all that. Here is remember Debbie Downer? She was a Saturday night live bit from years ago. And this woman had just wrecked everything. She's a typical liberal woman, mentally ill, goes into a room, sucks the energy out of it. That person is Nicole Wallace. Why would you watch this on television? Why would you watch this? Nicole Wallace. It's awful.
This weekend will mark a brand new low for America in the eyes of the world. It also marks a new low for Donald Trump and his now well-documented record of showing disrespect and glee for destroying the country's most iconic and historic symbols.
No, actually, he's redid the reflecting pool, and he cleaned up all the statues that were urinals for the homeless there. So, Nicole, you're absolutely 1 billion% wrong.
And pretty much everything the country has stood for. Trump is hosting.
Again, you guys burned the country in the summer of 2020, got rid of and tried to tear down statues, including Columbus, our founding fathers. You call our country racist, and now you're acting like you love the country, you're defending the country. We don't believe you, you awful, awful, sad, pathetic cat lady.
A tragically tacky UFC cage.
Oh, it's so tacky. I love tacky. Tacky kicks butt.
Match on a massive stage that he constructed on the south lawn of the White House. We've reported that here on this show. Late today, a federal judge is allowing the fight to proceed. Tonight, Donald Trump is kicking things off with a UFC press event. And tomorrow, an official weigh-in where the fighters have to get on a scale, I guess.
She had to guess what a weigh-in was. Yeah, I know.
Make sure they make weight, and that'll happen in front of the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, you made weight by not eating for a week. That's what you did because, you were so, whatever.
Right of Martin Luther King Jr.'s iconic I Have a Dream speech in one of our nation's most hallowed and storied and visited locations.
That was a crap hole when Joe Biden was the president.
Well, Crystal writes this in the Bulwark today about Trump's UFC fight, quote, I do think it's an event that captures something about this moment in our history. After all, it's vulgar. It is violent. It is commercial. It's grandiose. It's tacky.
I know. That's America. It's kind of like America to some degree.
And it dishonors a place once thought worthy of care and respect. In other words, it's Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's glorious. It's absolutely. You know what else it was, by the way? It was Flag Day. I'm going to share an amazing piece of audio from Ronald Reagan about Flag Day that you may not remember. But here are FIFA fans in America, even though Nicole Wallace hates it.
These neighborhoods look exactly the same as every movie you've ever seen. The American flags, people have got race flags up.
Talking about race flags, it was like racing cars, like NASCAR flags up.
A couple just walked past me and they go, good morning. I was like, what the hell? Did you guys talk to each other here?
Yeah.
Right
now, if we had Chipotle in Australia, I swear to God, I would be there every
Chicks have a Chipotle. You never had it before.
single day. Mm-hmm. It is so good.
Guys, Guzman needs to take notes.
Like,
Mad Max needs to take notes.
like, what is in this?
It's a lot better than Vegemite there, you Aussie babes.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. There really is. Like no other. I honestly think unless you live in America or unless you visit here, you can't really comprehend how nice these areas are.
Yeah.
That one, all of them, they're so beautiful. Everybody's so friendly, southern hospitality. The air smells nice.
When you're in the UK, okay, if you're next to the beach, it smells. The beach doesn't smell here, right?
No, everything's beautiful.
And I got more of this coming up on the other side of the break, and we'll compare it to Sonny Hostin and Nicole Wallace and all the miserable people who hate America who don't matter anymore. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hello. You guys are active. I wish you guys could have seen when I was down on King Street Saturday night. I just saw so much joy. And this after I went earlier in the day, went down to the reflecting pool in the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial and met people from all over the place. Met a young couple. The wife and husband hadn't slept in 24 hours, and she was on her last legs, couldn't check into the hotel till 4 in the afternoon, and she'd never been to the Washington or the Lincoln Memorial. And I was there at the base when she went up those stairs, and it was something else. And talked to a number of people who just love America, particularly this, like I said, this gentleman who came from India who is now an American citizen. My brother, doesn't matter if he has an accent, doesn't matter what color his skin is. He is my brother. He is my equal. And he made it very clear that he wanted Americans to know what it means to him to be an American. And it was just something else. It was just something else. Again, it's all over Instagram. And then that Saturday night, I had a date, went down there, and some friends, and we ended up just dancing and sweating through our clothes with people from all over the world, enjoying America, the beauty of it, seeing fireworks, seeing tall ships, recognizing the sacrifice and the suffering that got us here. It was something else. I am more convinced than ever there's a reason why we're here at this moment together. I'm more convinced than ever this is a godly moment. This is serendipitous. It is. It is. It is. It is. Here we go. Here we go.
2:45 here. I've been back home in the UK. I haven't felt like myself, which sounds so crazy. I now live for that adventure, that crazy lifestyle, that meeting new people, seeing new people every day, and I just long for it. And in America, it is so amazing. Seriously, Americans, what have you done to me? I need to come back.
That's a Brit who was here, and he fell in love with America, and he wants it back. He wants to come back. Meanwhile, here's Ali Velshi. These are mostly peaceful protests.
In 1 month, America will mark the 250th anniversary of its founding. Like previous anniversaries, there is a deep unease about this. I feel a deep unease about these celebrations to which I am invited to mark the 250th anniversary of our so-called democracy.
Oh, man, that's MS Now. Here's a British girl who is here.
I was well and truly born in the wrong country. I'm a British girl and I have been to around 27 different countries in my whole life. I've been to the Caribbean, I've been to St. Lucia, I've been to Barbados, I've been to Southeast Asia, Thailand, Bali, places in Europe. I've been all over the world basically. And nothing comes close to the USA. No. You can get every single landscape, every single climate, you can get everything in the US. The people, the food, the landscapes, the cars, the trucks, everything in the US simply beats anything I've ever experienced anywhere in the world. I was born in the wrong country. I feel like I belong in the US. My heart is there. I mean, we found a puppy in the US. We rescued a puppy in the US and brought her home to the UK. There are no words to describe how lucky you guys are to live there. Americans are so lucky to live in such an amazing country. And I wish I was there, guys, honestly.
Yeah, there you go. We rolled out the red carpet and we welcomed them. We always have, by the way. I'm the son of immigrants. My ancestors came here after the turn of the 20th century, and they tilled the fields in Iowa to feed the world. And they lived in poverty, but they lived the American dream. We saw a lot of that, and the left got beaten back into the pits of hell, which is where they're going. Much more coming up. Blaine Holt to talk about the Iran peace deal next hour. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit ReliefFactor.com today.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 2 of the radio program, the live stream as well across the country, reaching millions of people. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. The 250th anniversary of our country's birth, and Donald Trump is the president. There's a reason why. There's a reason why all of this has come together. I absolutely believe it is serendipitous. I absolutely believe we are living in a time where the reaction to the evil that had been overtaking our country is happening right now. The action of evil created by the Democrat Party, opening the southern border and burning down our country and censoring speech and weaponizing all of the departments of the government, including the FBI, against the American people and Donald Trump, and 4 years of Joe Biden's awful presidency with an open border. All of it meant to tear down America, and then, of course, the return to Donald Trump, which should have never happened. It should have never happened. They tried to put him in jail 5 different times, take his fortune, tried to murder him now 4 times. Once he turned his head just slightly and saved his own life. I had the feeling it was God doing a little, hey, look over there. And then, of course, the 2 impeachments of Rita Mar-a-Lago. I mean, honestly, and we endured it all, and you and I endured losing friends and family because of our politics. I wrote a piece on Substack today. This morning I wrote it. Let me get it up here real quick. It's a rather lengthy little piece that I did that I'm again quite proud of. It's if you hate America's 250th birthday, don't come. If you hate America's 250th birthday party, don't come. I'll just read a little bit of it here because it's pretty cool. This is a note to those not affected or afflicted but brainwashed with TDS. There is a reason why Donald Trump is the president for America's 250th year celebration. Had a Democrat won, we would have celebrated in darkness with an open border on our nation's capital filled with drug-addicted, homeless encampments, crime, and graffiti. We, supporters of Donald Trump in America as founded, are now 10 years battle-hardened veterans. We are not battle-weary. We are battle-hardened. We have been put through hell with censorship, demonization, and ostracism. We were told by our friends and relatives, those with TDS, we were no longer welcome in their circles. The departments of government were weaponized against to surveil and censor us. They tried to put our president in prison. They impeached him twice. They lied about Russia collusion hoax that was made up of whole cloth. The deep state corrupt federal government worked with the SPLC to create Charlottesville and presumably January the 6th. They imprisoned people for being led in the Capitol without trial for 4 years and destroyed countless lives. Remember when I said we had a Bastille and we had a proletariat, we had a bourgeois, and we had a Bastille. And they did it, man. They kept it. But I went on and I wrote in the very end of the piece here, again, it said Substack at Rob Carson Show. Substack, the Rob Carson Show, excuse me. It says... the last paragraph, America as founded is on the side of God and good. The left and the Democrat Party are not. The Democrat Party is on a death spiral into hell. If you don't believe me, tell me the positive and patriotic message of the Democrat Party. Tell me the awesome and amazing plan they have to make America even better. They can't because they want America's destruction and demise. We battle-hardened veterans of a 10-year war against we the people are not about to be defeated. Ta-da! There it is. It's again on my Substack there. I am told that we have the great Deplorabella on the phone, and she would like to comment as I let my voice take a breath here and clear my throat. Deplorabella, welcome to the Rob Carson Show. What's on your mind today?
Well, I'm thinking about that Manchurian candidate, Obama, who never left. While claiming to embrace the poverty of a community organizer, he purchased his 4th mansion in D.C. to continue to promote his Red-Green Alliance. This is a guy who has not paid the subcontractors of his library. That library is a perfect symbol of what Obama is, a demonic force in this country. And it contrasts brilliantly with Trump's beautification of the White House and of the Capitol. This huge building gentrified the landscape in Chicago and forced out a lot of blacks who could no longer afford to live there. There'll be no need for books in this library because the literacy rates of Chicago's school students are below single digits. In fact, his work with Bill Ayers and the Tides Foundation to Africanize and de-Westernize our school system led to just exactly this result. We have a group of people in a subculture who are perpetually stuck because they subscribe to the views of people like Obama. He polarized the races in this country. He weaponized every single government agency available. And he did a lot of other horrible things. He was responsible with Fast and Furious for the death of Border Patrol agent Brian Terry and others as well, and hundreds of Mexicans. Never apologized for it. He's responsible for Benghazi. Never apologized for the lies that Hillary Clinton and Susan Rice put forth, and went ahead to unleash one tribal Islamic group after another in Libya at the very time when Gaddafi gave signs of giving up his nuclear and terrorist aims. So he's been a real winner.
Yeah.
His deal with Iran would have made Iran a nuclear power. By now, Israel and the United States might not exist in their present form had it gone ahead. He lied about his disgusting Unaffordable Care Act. He said, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you like your health and then later he admitted he had to lie to get it passed, which shows his utter contempt for the American people and shows that he is a communist and Islamist through and through. A little taqiyya, a little by any means necessary, and he gets to where he wants to be. This man is a travesty. He's also responsible for a coup, an ongoing coup against the Republicans, the American electorate, and one Donald J. Trump. He has never been held to account for, there have been no consequences yet for his criminality. What he and Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and Brennan and Susan Rice did in that office that day when they plotted to use FISA, to use the Russia hoax, to use the Mueller report, to use impeachments, to use the censorship of the laptop, to use phony statements from intelligence officers about that being Russian disinformation. Everything that they have done has been designed to add to the depravity of our culture and deconstruct our constitutional republic. It has been an anti-Western initiative, which Obama embraced wholeheartedly from the jump. That's who he always was.
Now let me ask you, I want to interrupt you here real quick because this is my show, by the way. Sometimes we forget it. I'm just teasing you, girl. By the way, I had so many people ask where you were on that Gettysburg trip. I just want you to know that. I'm like, even when you're not there, you upstage me.
No. I've been dealing with some medical issues,
I got you,
but
girl.
I'm still writing my Substack. I'm still calling you, my beloved.
I know.
And working on a book of poetry, which will be out the end of September.
I love it. And you do have a book, by the way. You do have. Where can people get your book?
Now.
Where can you get it?
Chronicles of Deplorabella, which talks about a dysfunctional childhood in the home of communists who did everything possible to turn me into everything I today hate and fight against.
But let me tell you something, and I believe this from the depths of my soul, Deplorabella. There is a reason why we have arrived at this moment in time with Donald Trump as the president in our 250th year. With the beautification of Washington, D.C., with the, it's almost like a demonic possession of the country, the demons being chased. I really feel this. Don't you feel this? Do you feel like this is happening? There is a spiritual event happening that is saving our country. It is a baptism by fire that we needed to survive another 250 years. Can you feel it? Do you feel we're in that same place?
I'm going to go biblical on you.
Please
I
do.
see Charlton Heston parting the Red Sea. I see Trump standing up like a colossus, parting the Red-Green Alliance, pushing back this revolution which threatens to destroy Western civilization, and fighting to restore truth and decency. I see what you see.
Well, have you been watching some of these people coming in for the World Cup and just loving America and walking through neighborhoods and having people saying, hi, hello, neighbor, and inviting them over to hang on the porch with them, or and having biscuits and gravy for the first time, my God in heaven, or barbecue for the first time, and recognizing the glory of America, and then they got to go back to their country and they go, I miss America, I want to go back. Have you seen it? It's amazing.
Well, they have gratitude for what we take for granted.
I know.
And that apathy and that complacency will be our undoing. People better wake up.
It's not going to be our undoing. Deplorable, knock that rat off right now. It's not going to be our undoing. We have undone the undoing. We are turning it around. There is no, it's going to be our undoing. We are going to leave the left in our dust, girlfriend. You have to recognize that. That's why I'm so bloody positive all the time.
Well, I appreciate that, but we've got to maintain and continue to fight.
Yes.
We can't go to sleep.
Of
No
course.
snooze button.
You know what? You heard me just now. I said we are battle-hardened. We are not battle-weary. We are not. We are not battle-weary. We are battle-hardened. And they are soft, and we are defeating them. And we are, the Democrat Party is doing a death spiral into hell. And we're just giving them that last little shove, that little just open palm to the forehead. Right off into hell with you.
Sounds good to me.
Hey,
keep fighting, Rob.
You take care of yourself, and prayers are coming your way for your health.
Thank you.
You are such a gift. You are such a gift. God bless you, and thanks for the call today.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Let's take a break and come back. That's Deplorabella, by the way. Deplorabella on Substack, if you don't get the opportunity to check that out. The Chronicles of Deplorabella is her book. She is a phenom. She didn't hit her strides till she turned 80. A remarkable woman. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
WCBM and 99.9 FM in Harford County.
The Caitlin Bennett rejoin.
Doogie.
So you preferred your pronouns to be
they and them.
They, them. Okay.
So, do you need me to explain how to use that?
Nope, because I'm not going to.
Yeah, there you go. You know why? Because that whole pronouns thing was really stupid. Yeah, you know, my old alma mater. I went to Northwest Missouri State University in lovely Maryville, Missouri, which isn't really lovely. Yeah, no, not at all, actually. My broadcast professors, not the ones that I had, of course, there were some newer ones. They all put they them pronouns and all their pronouns on their profiles on the page, and that's what I knew. I was never going to be invited back to speak, even though I am their most successful broadcast alum in 4 decades. So there you go. Kind of silly, kind of stupid. If you bought into it, you are both of those things. Coming up, the great video from Ronald Reagan. It's audio for you guys who are just doing audio. If you're streaming, you'll see the video. But about Flag Day, which was Saturday, which is also Donald Trump's birthday, and my daughter's birthday. Much to her chagrin, she's 21 years old now. She turned 21. We had a delightful strawberry shortcake and Panda Express to celebrate. She doesn't drink. Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? She doesn't drink and she doesn't smoke pot and she doesn't curse. I mean, of all the things that she couldn't do after years of living with me, she doesn't drink and she doesn't curse. Oh, my God. She doesn't smoke weed. I'm not a weed smoker myself. Anyway, the video, Ronald Reagan's coming up. Buy gold, put some silver in your pocket. Know what you're thinking. Everything is expensive, so how am I going to buy gold? Well, pull your head out of the sand and realize maybe you've got an old 401k from a previous employer that's not working, or an IRA. You can make it into physical gold with Birch Gold. Thank you very much. Yeah, right now, Birch Gold giving you a very special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you purchase by July 10th. It's collectible. It's awesome. And it's the 250th anniversary of our birth. And it's solid silver. It's dang cool, by the way. Think about this. 10 years ago, an ounce of gold was $1,200. Today, it's $4,500. Text Rob to 989898 to finally take advantage of free silver. The America 250 silver round with qualifying purchase before July 10th. Again, text Rob to the number 989898 today. I turn things over to the great, as Rush Limbaugh used to say, Ronaldus Magnus.
My fellow Americans, today we celebrate Flag Day, the birthday of our Stars and Stripes.
Listen to this.
As we think back over the history of our nation's flag, we remember that the story of its early years was often one of hardship and trials, sometimes a fight for simple survival. It was 2 years into the War of 1812 when America seemed to be teetering on the edge of defeat. The British had already taken our capital and burned the White House. All that stood between the British and Baltimore were the guns of Fort McHenry. British bombardment lasted for 25 hours. Through the dark hours of the night, the rockets fired and the bombs exploded, and a young American patriot named Key, held captive aboard a British ship, watched anxiously for some proof, some sign that liberty would prevail. You can imagine his joy when the next morning in the dawn's early light, he looked out and saw the banner still flying, a little tattered and torn, but still flying proudly above the ramparts. But with the birth of our nation, the cause of human freedom had become forever tied to that flag and its survival. As the American Republic grew and prospered and new stars were added to the flag, the ideal of freedom grew and prospered. From the rolling hills of Kentucky to the shores of California, to the Sea of Tranquility on the moon.
Yeah.
And let us never forget that in honoring our flag, we honor the American men and women who have courageously fought and died for it. These anniversaries remind us that the great American experiment in freedom and democracy has really just begun.
Yeah.
And they challenge us to match that greatness of spirit in our own time. We are, after all, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
If you've ever been to Fort McHenry, it's amazing. They tell the story of the flag, and then they open the curtain, and the national anthem comes on, and you see where the flag was with the new flag, and you will weep. It is remarkable. It is remarkable. I wish you could feel what I'm feeling now, because the last week has just been amazing. A trip to Gettysburg and a storyteller named Jim Miller making it real for a couple of busloads of people. And then this weekend with tall ships and fireworks and a UFC fight and dancing in the street with people from other countries celebrating how wonderful America is. It's washing over me. I hope that it does you as well. In Kansas City, where I just moved from, my son was talking about the soccer fans who were in town having barbecue and going to KC Joe's and having the Z-Man, British guy going to KC Joe's and having a Z-Man, which is a brisket sandwich with a big old onion ring on it. Anthony Bourdain says it's something you got to eat before you die, and he did it, and his eyes rolled back in his head, and it was like, oh my Lord in heaven, what is this? Barbecue is the food of the slaves. They invented it. The Asians brought the sauce. The Germans brought the beer. God bless America. Meanwhile, here is Sonny Hostin of The View, a spoiled, entitled child who gets paid millions of dollars to do nothing.
I'm embarrassed by the criminal felon president that is in the Oval Office that has a UFC cage on the White House lawn.
It's really American, Sonny.
I'm embarrassed about all those things.
I'm embarrassed by you.
I'm also embarrassed at how America is now seen across the globe. I don't think that many Americans...
Let's see how those the people are feeling about America. Here's some of the people in the United States visiting for the soccer tournament.
I'm in awe of the United States of America.
I'm in America. When they say everything in America is big, I understand it. Why the hell is this quesadilla the size of my head? And I've got 3 of them.
Americans, you are so lucky.
Oh, he's eating the ribs.
Whoa. And you take
Kid tried to eat ribs with a knife and fork.
You eat it. Okay, not with a fork.
Nothing
like James Tallarico
comes close to the USA.
Chick-fil-A for the first time as a family.
Chick-fil-A. Biscuits and gravy right here. Oh my God.
So good. Dang.
Oh yeah.
Women walking alone with fancy handbags, jewelry on, glasses on. They're not being harassed, nothing. If they were South Africa, gosh, first of all, I wouldn't be able to walk through this bloomin' park by myself.
Everything just big, ginormous.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. But Sonny Hostin wouldn't know that because she's an awful harpy from hell.
Understand that we are part of a wonderful global community. And when you look at our allies are now giving us a 1-star rating as a country. While I am conflicted about this country because I feel that it is, at this point, a failed experiment.
No, it is the greatest thing in the world. We'd still be using the streets as a latrine without electricity and no jets and stuff. You see, you spoil entitled harpy. Blaine Hull joins us next to talk about the Iran peace deal. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
Deported. Deported. Deported.
Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when pain is a part of your everyday life. Relief Factor was created to help people address inflammation, one of the most common causes of ongoing aches and pains from aging, overexertion, and daily living. It's a 100% drug-free, research-based formula that works through multiple metabolic pathways to support comfort and mobility. No prescription, no masking symptoms, just real relief so you can keep moving forward. I work out every other day, I crush it at the gym, and I ride my bike 100 miles on the weekend. I credit Relief Factor for making all of those activities pain-free. And as America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself a chance to reclaim yours. To commemorate, they're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. Yeah. So you can pursue your happiness being pain-free. Your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's ReliefFactor.com or 800-4-RELIEF.
Now back to the Rob Carson Show, presented by Paramount Plus.
It was a great event that was put forth by the UFC at the White House in concert with the White House or whatever. It did a hell of a job. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I was there, 4,000-seat arena. I got to be honest, coming off the NBA Finals, where I was at multiple NBA Finals, better event than NBA Finals.
Wow.
It was a better event.
What? That is ESPN and Stephen A. Smith saying that the UFC fight on the White House grounds was better than the NBA Finals, and they didn't even burn a city afterwards like they did in New York City. Unbelievable. Of course, Frank Sinatra is spinning in his grave, honestly, because of the behavior of New York Knicks fans. I mean, I'm glad for the Knicks. I got to tell you, I think this this series did more, and Donald Trump going to that game did more for the NBA than has been done, and made it more appealing than it has been since Jordan played. That's just me, but I'm not a big NBA fan, and I could be wrong. Maybe Blaine Holt is. Maybe Brigadier General Blaine Holt is the host of the Dangerous Intellectuals podcast, who joins us on the Newsmax hotline. What do you think, man? What do you think about that UFC fight? And what do you think about the Knicks winning?
Well, the UFC fight was amazing. I actually was like, really, are we doing the bread and circuses now? But it was actually from the from singing the national anthem to the flyby and then on. It was a class act. It was fun. And you know what? For the globalists, this is Americana, and it's in your face. And we're going to go back to being a testosterone-based male culture, so deal with it.
You know what I enjoyed the most about this weekend? And you know, my son, who is a flaming liberal, thanks to the University of Kansas, and he was showing me these videos of people coming from around the world, you know, like having a B&G, a biscuits and gravy, or going into a Buc-ee's for the first time. Or maybe you saw I think he was a Spanish man. Couldn't believe you could fill up your Coke at the Coke machine as much as you want to. And listen, it's not all about material, and it's not all about flavor, although it's a big part, but also just the glory, culture. The friendship, you know. Culture. Oh my God! I tell you,
you go into a Buc-ee's, you're going to get 35 different styles of beef jerky.
You're also, you know what else you're going to get? You're going to get a welcome. You know, I've seen people, they say they couldn't believe they're not being robbed of their purses when they're walking down the street. They can't believe, you know, people walking down the street in a neighborhood and somebody saying good morning. They're going, whoa, what the hell is that? You know, and I know. Blaine, I just tell you, General, I should say, I just feel like we are in an awakening, and it is that we are at a moment. It's a serendipitous moment, and I think we have, you know, I think we're winning the battle against evil. Go ahead.
We are. Never apologize for being an American. I go into a Buc-ee's with my big black 350 Super Duty on an 8-inch lift, and everybody's just smiling at me. Nobody's mad that I didn't do carbon sequestration. That's who we are. It's fine.
Now you know. Now you know what you're telling me. You got an 8-inch lift on your Ford, and Buck has not been lifted. Now I'm going to have to go out and get him lifted.
Yeah, you don't want to get. That's a deadly game, man, and it's financially dangerous. So do the lift, do it once, and then be done with it.
We'll see. We will see. It'd be the first lift I've ever gotten, unlike Nancy Pelosi. So let's talk about. and you know, you're exactly right. It's a very expensive proposition, a losing proposition in her case. Let's talk about this Iran deal, man. What do you think about this? Because it took 9 weeks of a ceasefire, then resuming bombing, which kind of kicked them in the arse a little bit. Do you think we got the right deal? Do you think they're going to stick by it? What's going on?
I will say we're on the right track.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get this part done, and then let's start to mold, shape, and create a friendly Iran, one that is minus its IRGC and mullahs, and that is next. Just the way it is.
Okay.
And then we got to get our allies into alignment with us. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, and then we can get on our way to the Abraham Accords. But I see a lot of goodness here if it can hold through disagreements that Tel Aviv and Washington are having, and they need to get that sorted out.
Well, those are the biggest disagreements, is what's going on between Israel and us. You know, you've still got different factions attacking Israel. And I don't blame them for striking back, for God's sake. I mean, Israel's been attacked since...
It's how you strike back.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, the disagreement is over tactics. The disagreement's not over whether Israel has a right to defend itself. Of course it does. And will Israel be our ally in 2-3 weeks? Yes, they will. Next year, of course. But what we take exception to are things that are obviously destabilizing in the face of a very fragile peace that we're trying to wring out right now.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't help when world leaders throw rocks at each other publicly. Take that stuff to a room. We don't need to see it.
Yeah.
Get the diplomatic sausage made, and let's move on.
So you've got a deal to permanently make the Strait of Hormuz toll-free. That's gigantic. I understand that crude a couple hours ago was right below $80 a barrel. So what are your thoughts on, I mean, it sounds like that's a done deal. It sounds like Iran's never going to have nukes. I guess we're going to get the nuclear dust. What else do you know about this, bro?
Yeah, so the big deal is who's going to emerge as the leadership in Iran.
No.
How do we off-ramp the IRGC?
Yes.
If we haven't already, because we hit them pretty hard last time. And then really, how are we going to bring Iran back into the real world? Mm-hmm. And if we do those things, listen, from London and the city of London and the banksters who've profited from all of this over the last 100 years, it's over for them. It's over for them. This then shifts the world order, and the world order becomes an American world order, not one envisioned by those that would enslave us through globalism.
Well, they also have had their military completely destroyed. Their military-industrial complex has been shredded. There's no chance of them being able to rebuild that. It's kind of like Japan, essentially, after World War II, although, there are some exceptions. They do have a military. But something very similar to that. Of course, Japan, look what happened to Japan. They became this engine of economic prosperity like the world has never known, second only behind the United States of America. If you're looking at the size of the country, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, this is exactly the path we need to be on. And that's why the Abraham Accords and the vision of having a demilitarized foreign policy and countries of all ethnicities and religious backgrounds tied up in markets, looking for free travel, looking for innovation and technology across cultures. That's where we want to go. We can always find 55 reasons why we want to go kill each other, but I think with proper leadership, not military-industrial complex leadership, we can get there. But this is the last stage of that, and it's a pass-fail exercise. We're going to do really, really well here, and our grandkids will thank us, or we're going to do really, really bad here, and we're going to see things that we always hope we'd avoid.
I'm conflicted because I really wanted Donald Trump to bomb the snot out of him the last 9 weeks, and he has been more patient and deliberate than I would have ever been. But think in retrospect what that has meant for the people of Iran.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We saw what London looked like after World War II. There was nothing left, and it took decades to rebuild. Donald Trump left the infrastructure, left the power grid, left the ability to pump oil and sell oil internationally. That was very benevolent of Donald Trump to do.
You have to do that because the world depends on the Straits.
Yes.
Even the Europeans who defied us every step of the way because that's where the city of London sits, that was their vital interest, not ours. China is sitting on the sidelines. Thank you, President Trump, for engaging in that level of diplomacy.
Wow.
But this will take some healing to do afterwards. But we've avoided World War III here.
Yeah.
And that's why we need to tell Israel, hey, look, we might differ in tactics, but you've got to follow us. If you take our money, our alliance, and our leadership, and you invite us to this, then you have to follow our leadership.
Yep.
And we're not the secondary party here. We're the primary now.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back more with Brigadier General Blaine Holt. Dangerous Intellectuals is the name of his podcast. A remarkable podcast, well thought out, well produced, well hosted, I might add as well. DangerousIntellectuals.com. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
extra large.
It is the Rob Carson Show. We've got Blaine Holt, General Blaine Holt. I should say Brigadier General Blaine Holt, former C-17 commander. Thank you very much. Now he commands an incredible podcast. You see what I did there? Dangerous Intellectuals. And, of course, you should check it out at dangerousintellectuals.com. So if you could, with regard to the Iran conflict, if you could give a 1 out of 10 scale grade to how Donald Trump, the Trump administration, handled this threat and how it appears to be meted out, what would you give him? What positives would you give him? What negatives would you give him?
Yeah, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, we're looking at an 8+, which for the Middle East is basically an A+ grade. Yeah. The thing is, there's so many different layers to the Middle East. There's so many different layers to the players. There's so much deception that goes on in this type of war. And the president, for his part, he has shifted, been flexible. He's dynamically shifted. He has deceived them. He has engaged in his own Sun Tzu war. And he's been taking on two adversaries. Like I said, he's got the financialists and the globalists sitting up there in Europe trying to stop him because they've been playing both sides. The Lloyds of London trying to stop him. And so I think he's done a marvelous job, but we're not out of the woods.
No.
If it was me, I'd take a heavier hand towards the IRGC. I would want them off the map entirely.
100%.
That's the one thing I have concerns about at this point. Mullahs, I'm not concerned about. And then helping to aid and abet the revolution, that's where I think I find the opportunity.
Okay. That was my question, because you have mentioned this before. You mentioned it last week, and this is what I'm hoping for. I thought the only way we could get to the IRGC being driven from power and the return of the Iranian people to power for the first time in 47 years would be to kill all of the bastards. You're saying that there are some other ways that this could happen. Explain to us how that could happen, Blaine Holt.
So let's talk about the force in the middle here, the one that's not paid. The regular Iranian army has not received any money, and Scott Bessent's done a marvelous job of drying up those assets. But they are under arms, and they're subservient to the IRGC. And so could we, with our ground intel assets, help fuse a resistance movement in Iran with the Artesh, that army, and bring them as a force to bear? And then in the north, you've got the Kurds as a blocking force if the IRGC starts to flee into Iraq, because that's what you don't want is, okay, we just respawn in a new country and we hijack that one. So there's a lot of different ways, and I am confident that the Pentagon is putting what we call courses of action, or COAs, in front of the president to consider about how to close the deal here. But I do believe that we're gonna sunset the IRGC here by some fashion or form. It's just not going to be with 130,000 American forces.
Yeah, I remember, because I was writing for Rush Limbaugh, Talent on Loan from God, when George H.W. Bush was in charge, and he kind of left the Kurds hanging. Do you suppose that the Kurds will respond and trust Donald Trump to support them?
Yes, I do. And honestly, when you look at the predicament the Kurds are in, do they have any other friends? They really don't.
Yeah, that's true.
So if the Kurds want a good deal and to be in a new pluralistic Iran with a voice, they would do well to be very helpful with us at this point in time. And I do believe he will be. My example would be just a few months ago, the Kurds were talking about going in on their own, and President Trump told them, don't do that. You stay on that border. And they did just that. They obeyed. They just said, okay, nope, you're the man with the plan. Wish they would all do that. But no, listen, I think we're on the right track.
It sounds like we have radical Islam on its heels. I'm not saying the threat is over, but their funding is a major problem now. This is something we've been waiting for a long damn time.
It is, but now we're going to get to the meat of the matter on this this radical Islam thing. It's a very big deal that the Muslim Brotherhood, out of 3 different countries, was now declared a terrorist organization because the Muslim Brotherhood is the center of all of this crap, going back a very long way, and they also were a construct of MI6 and intelligence services. Sorry, that's the truth. And now we have declared open season on them in Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, And what does that mean? That means that Scott Bessent can go to town on them, those monies, how they work, how they flow, how they hit care here. The Somalis, Boko Haram, all of it. This is going to be the real war on terror, not the crap that we saw that sent me and several of my best friends to war for 20 years.
I know, brother. Future of Gaza. What do you think?
Future of Gaza. Yeah, it's been raised, and again, reasonable men can argue about strategy. It doesn't change your alliances at all. But what we have to do is we have to account for where the Palestinian people are in all of this, and we're going to have to start to put together a humanitarian effort. And, the president early on said he wants those people to have a stake in what the future of Gaza is going to look like as they recreate it. What we don't want to do is just throw away a bunch of people, build a bunch of high-rise condominiums on the sites of graves, and say, everybody come here and have the mega rich do very well in that environment. What we need to do is to make this a perfect place to show why the Abraham Accords can work and how Arab states and the Israeli state can come together and create a new day.
All right, brother. I appreciate you being on the show today. I know you've been to Washington, D.C. recently. You should have seen this weekend, Blaine Holt, man. It's something else. I took it all in. I went to Gettysburg last week, went downtown, went to the reflecting pool, and it's only going to get better. We're only halfway through this 250th year, brother.
I know. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. On the other side of this thing, we're going to have a great summer. It's just going to be awesome.
I know it is. Tell everybody where they can check out your podcast, bro.
Well, come to DangerousIntellectuals.com. I released episode 40 today. You're going to meet an inspiring American, Mike Arnold, who's doing something, not sparking something, but doing something about the Sokoto Caliphate attacking and destroying and genociding Christians in Nigeria. It's important to all of us, and you'll find out why.
I love it, brother. Have a glorious rest of your week. I appreciate you. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Hi, kids. I hope that my optimism doesn't overwhelm you. I just am very excited about life and about our country. So anyway, I'm looking at what I got to talk here real quick. Montage foreigners loving America, counter protests, more Sonny Hostin. I'm done with Sonny Hostin. I'm going to delete that. All right. Hello, Gail King. Welcome. Good to see you there. Robert Lawson as well. Pranay Uprashat. What's going on? How's things on your end? Things are good here. My daughter is here. I'm really looking forward to hanging out with her. Oh, my message for my daughter is beautiful. Yeah. I hadn't seen my kids in more than 6 months. My son and I butted heads a little bit, but it smoothed out. And my daughter is here now, and we're just going to have a great summer. And I'm going to just focus on really, being super healthy and taking her and showing her the world. And my biggest thing with her was she's an artist. And I said, you've got to make a living at it. Otherwise, it's just going to be an aside. Do you want it to be your life, or do you want it to be something you do away from a job? And so that's why I insisted she go to art school and she look at a direction for how she can make money doing it. Because otherwise you're just a starving artist the rest of your life. And I don't want that. So anyway, here we go. I got to talk here. Rock and roll. America invented that, and we changed the world. If it were left to Europe, we'd still be sitting around wearing powdered wigs and listening to harpsichord music. There you go. America, get used to it. America kicks butt. This is in Los Angeles at a soccer game. The Americans were playing. I want you to listen to this. There's no more kneeling during the national anthem. There's no more. Remember that? What's his name? That moron with the afro who was a spoiled, entitled child used to kneel. What the hell was his name, Brian? I already forgot him.
Kaepernick.
Oh, yeah, Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, yeah, named after the organ that creates crap in your body. Here is the national anthem in L.A. No kneeling. And then there was a No Kings protester down at the National Mall. I want you to listen. He's protesting, and all of a sudden the Blue Angels and Thunderbirds fly over.
Israel SA! Oh yes, Mr. Netanyahu! Oh yes, Mr. Netanyahu!
I love it. I love it. What did I tell you? Overwhelm the left with joy and faith and patriotism. Overwhelm the left with joy and faith and patriotism. It's working. It's working. They have no response. They have no response at all. They can't handle it. They did No Kings protest this weekend, and nobody paid any attention because we are being washed over with patriotism and love and freedom and prosperity and joy. There's no stopping it. Not the fake joy that the left tried to perpetrate with Kamala Harris, who was a joke. Yes, these are glorious times. We got another hour of the show. We've got a whole bunch of stuff on Graham Plattner and his campaign. I don't think he's going to make it to December or November, I should say. That's all coming up in hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit ReliefFactor.com today.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
Now back to the Rob Carson Show, presented by Paramount Plus.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is hour number 3 of the Rob Carson Show. Welcome to it. Thanks for joining me today. What a weekend, man. What a weekend. What a weekend I had. Last Tuesday I took off to be with my daughter, among other things, and then on Thursday I was off going with listeners from our anchor station WCBM in Baltimore to Gettysburg, and it ended up being more profound than I could have ever imagined. Just remarkable. And then this weekend going to the Potomac and seeing tall ships and fireworks and then dancing in the street with people from other countries for the World Cup, and it was, oh my God, it was so funny, guys. If you missed the first monologue of the first hour, I went downtown with a new friend. His name's Mike. He's from Wisconsin. He's about 20 years my junior, and he's got a girlfriend from Colombia named Jimena, and she looks like Sofia Vergara. Ay, my guy, yeah. So anyway, we go. That's the only sound I could come up with. So we go downtown. We and I just invited him over. I had the first time I have actually had people in my apartment, and I invited him over. I had some, snacks, and I smoked salmon. I smoked the salmon, and then I said, "You guys want to go down to King Street with us and hang out, and see the tall ships?" Okay. So we get in Buck, my Bronco, and we just start cranking all the tunes that everybody wants to hear. Cranking the tunes, singing along to all the tunes, parking the car, going to see the fireworks and the tall ships. Then we get in this group of people, about a couple hundred people, in the middle of the street, playing, the classic line dances, the cha-cha slide and the Macarena and all that. And then it goes into, like, fun Hispanic, Cuban, ethnic music. Like, I don't even know some of the word. A lot of it was in Spanish, but it didn't matter. People were dancing, and it was joyous and joyous. And I ended up being dragged into the middle of this group because there was this little, like, 60-something-year-old woman from Central or South America, and I just came up with dance moves that I haven't had since high school swing choir, and I was doing this thing, and then I started just doing my own moves, and the crowd starts chanting, "Go, go, go!" And I'm like, "What?" And I think they meant leave, but no, it was really positive. It was really amazing, and it was joyous, and we felt this way around the country this weekend, because of the World Cup is here, and instead of being a dark and awful place that everybody in America, all the left has convinced a lot of people that America is a terrible place, and they've done their level best to use the tenets of Mao and Stalin to tell us that America is a terrible place, and they tore down our statues in Columbus, and they got rid of all of that and all that, and we survived it, and now they're coming here and they're seeing the glory of America, and they're going, wow. The soccer fans from all over the world are going, wow, what is this Buc-ee's? What is this biscuits and gravy? What is this barbecue? What is this barbecue? And then they take a bite and their eyes roll back in their heads and they go, oh my Lord. And then some of them go back to where they come from, and they want to come back. They're like, I want to be here in America. And here's a guy that I've been sharing this all morning. Here's a guy from Great Britain. Listen to this guy.
Here is a list of things that I absolutely adore and love about America. And this list is going to be super long. There's going to be a load of different random things in there, but just you'll like it. Number one, the people of America. I'm not even kidding when I tell you the amount of love, kindness, support, help, service, and just joy that I've experienced from America.
And he's not getting it from Democrats, because Democrats are awful, sad. They think that America sucks. They don't welcome people like we do.
Americans in my time here in these 14 years has been completely unmatched. People in America are so hospitable. They love to serve others. They're so positive.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons why I wanted to move to America.
Yeah, Democrats say we're all racist and everything. We hate black people and stuff.
In terms of soccer, it's just everything is upbeat and everyone is encouraging, and I just needed that at that time. And America epitomizes positivity. Cup is half full over here all the time. Number two, I love how each state is like its own little world and its own little country. Every single one is completely different, and that's what makes America unique and amazing. I mean, Alaska,
Florida's a little iffy,
and Hawaii, completely different. Texas and Connecticut, completely different. New Hampshire and Alabama, completely different. Like you name it, it's just full of uniqueness, this country, and I love it.
I love it too, man. I just love it. I told you. I'm telling you, we are in serendipitous times. We're in a great awakening. It's wonderful. And they tried to tear us down in every way, shape, and form. They kneeled during the national anthem. They tore down our statues. They said that we were racist and all of this. And they all failed. They just failed. It's just wonderful. I just love it. And then this weekend they did a counter protest to the magnificent UFC fight on the White House grounds. Listen to this. Listen how bad this is. The song is called, I think, Organize. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure now, like 97% sure the song is called Organize. Yeah, okay, so I think it's now I'm 100% sure it's called Organize. That's their stupid protests this weekend. And Robert De Niro was there and everything.
No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. Not this time. No one is getting left.
Oh my God, that's what they had. Their counter-protesting the UFC fight, which was actually pretty amazing and featured a national anthem that was breathtaking.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
I don't want to interrupt it, but I'm going to the end here because, we know how it ends. And I mean, it'd be disrespectful. This is an official playing of the national anthem. It's just this playing of the national anthem. Listen to the Jets fly over.
That our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet?
Cue the Jets. The Jets. Yeah, I got some Jets here. America discovered that we've created.
Oh, the land of the free.
Let's compare it to the counter protest by the liberals over here. They did a flyby. It was instead of jets, it was gaseous emissions. Here's a little bit more of this terrible song. Well, it's not playing for some reason. All right, hold on one second. Here is the awful song being done.
No one is getting left behind this time.
There's the flyover.
No one is getting left behind. Not this time. No one is getting left.
That's your Democrat Party. What did I tell you? What am I going to do here? I said, we overwhelm them with joy and faith and patriotism. I will handle the mockery, ridicule, and satire. Right? Did I do that okay? I know it was kind of childish. I don't even care. America. There you go. Here, I should play this. The Knicks won the NBA championship, and because Donald Trump was there, was it game number 3 or game number 2? I can't remember. And, of course, Stephen A. Smith was all mad that Donald Trump was there, and Donald Trump was going to cause the Knicks to lose and everything. That was fantastic. Going to cause the Knicks to lose, and they ended up winning for the first time since 1973. Unfortunately, typical of now New York and Zoran Mandami's leadership, 2 o'clock in the morning, crowd scattered as a gunshot near 43rd and Broadway Street happened. 10 police officers injured, including one who was punched in the face and another who was struck with a glass bottle. You see, there's a guy in charge of the city now who wanted to defund the police, and he's very anti-police and all that, so that's probably why. 4 stabbings, slashings, 5 school buses were lit on fire and destroyed with bats after fans had jumped on top of them. This would not have happened in Des Moines. I want to tell you that. Kansas City, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl 3 times when I lived there, and they won the World Series the year that I got there, and there were no cars burned and stuff, and they didn't riot. So there is that. But that's New York City, and that's liberalism for you. This is Jim Gossett singing about the Knicks.
If I were a Knicks fan, I'd be in the slammer for the laws that I broke. They should hold me in a tiny cell if I were a New York fan.
Hey!
If I were a Knicks fan, I'd be on the hook for all of the damage that I caused. They would simply have me dead to rights. I'd be an impoverished man.
Yeah, you know.
If I were a Knicks fan, I'd be glad that Mom Donnie is so soft on crime. His goal is to defund the police, cause he is a Marxist man.
Yeah, an Islamist too.
If I were a Spurs fan, I'd say, what the hell happened to you in Game 4? You clowns led the Knicks by 29.
Choke.
Makes it hard to be a fan. Don't consider me a fan.
But I'll tell you, Donald Trump did more for the NBA this season than has been done since Jordan was playing. Let's take a break and come back. More with Susan Collins, a brilliant new ad, and then the Democrats singing from the same playbook with regard to Graham Platter. That's on the other side of the break, and this is the Rob Carson Show.
Radio 680 WCVM.
You know, I mentioned last week that the reason why the Democrat Party couldn't get good and decent men to be candidates for national office is because they're just insane. And I mean, honestly, what reasonable human being, as a man, father, husband, whatever, would want to see children become mutilated eunuchs with this fantasy of changing their gender, and boys competing with girls and all of the nonsense of, I mean, the insanity of the Democrat Party. You have to be unhinged, and they are finding it increasingly. They can't find anybody. They can't find anybody who is reasonable, sane, and decent, who would be down with all of this crap. So here is Victor Davis Hanson saying what I said last week in a much more eloquent fashion, because he's brilliant.
Party completely lost the so-called white working class, but now they want to win the House, and as soon as they get the House in January, they will impeach Donald Trump. But they can't do anything to Donald Trump unless they get 60 votes to convict him. So now all of a sudden the emphasis is on, we've got to find white working class, genuine people. And it's very hard for them because
they're nuts.
They are not genuine people themselves. Yeah. So now Pete Buttigieg is wearing a caterpillar.
It's booty gig. Pronounce it properly.
Their hat, grown a beard, Levi's, as if he is going to represent the white working.
He had paternity leave with an adopted baby.
Class. They thought that maybe they could have the evangelical angle, and so they dug up James Talarico. He said that Jesus was non-binary. He comes across as a Pete Buttigieg at a pulpit. They tried it again in Maine. They think they can knock off Susan Collins. So they ran Graham Plattner. He assured the Democrats that they could relax and he would be a viable candidate and beat Susan Collins. Some of his girlfriends came forward. They knew that he bragged about his Totenkopf Nazi tattoo on his chest. He used the German word for death's head, which is only used since World War II in the context of the SS. After he had assured people there'd be no new revelations, there were these revelations as aired in the New York.
Yeah, this is what the Democrat Party has. This is the best they have to offer. That's a really sad thing about it. It's crazy. Here's John Fetterman, the only voice of reason in the Democrat Party, talking about Graham Plattner putting his D word for Richard pics on a hookup platform that is known as a magnet for pedophiles.
You know, and now you're.
Other than that, he's a great candidate.
Journalists, you all know what Kick is for, and they have significant problems about being, the predators' playground for there. Why can't someone, perhaps you, ask him, why did you choose Kick? Of all the different apps, why
he's on NBC. There he is, NBC calling out. I believe it's Kristen Welker. Why aren't you asking these questions?
Did you choose Kick? And what was your safeguards to make sure that you weren't interacting with people that are at least legal,
underage,
appropriate too? And now we could just drop it. He could just release all of those kinds of texts and he could explain it for everybody. He could clear it all up. But right now, this is what I'm saying. Like, he's an unknown guy that's been lying about his character and his record ever since. Now, I'm sure there'll be more shoes to drop, and it's only June.
There you go. That's John Fetterman. He's not going to be the candidate. He's going to end up dropping out. That's what I'm hearing. That's what my gut is telling me, of course, and common sense, and I'm right about 100% of the time. Tony Kennett also says there's much coming. There's much coming. Meanwhile, Susan Collins, or whoever's doing her, she's not doing it because she's not a very humorous person. That said, whoever's doing her campaign came up with this brilliant campaign, and this is what I do. Okay, this is mockery, ridicule, and satire to make a point. And this is actually genius. This is a genius ad from Susan Collins about Graham Plattner.
Susan Collins spent time as a kid picking potatoes in Maine. Graham Plattner spent time as a kid at a $70,000 a year prep school in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Susan Collins has brought more than $1.5 billion back to Maine for hospitals, schools, roads, and communities across the state. Graham Plattner runs a hobby oyster farm whose only customer is his mother's restaurant.
Yeah.
Graham, say hi to your mother for me, okay?
Listen.
Susan Collins doesn't have a Nazi tattoo, and she doesn't have an account on a notorious predator's Paradise app. Graham Plattner did for years, and this was his profile picture. Oh gosh, please, get that off the screen. Anyway, Susan Collins, a senator we can be proud of.
That is genius. Old school film strip sound, old school production, boom, boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, boom, 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 boom. Raphael Warnock. It's Warnock. He is asked about the character flaws of Graham Plattner, and he defers to promoting his book.
Senator, let me talk to you about the midterms. One of the big headlines this week, Democrats officially nominating Graham Plattner as their Senate candidate in Maine, despite a swirl of controversies from allegations of abusive behavior from ex-girlfriends, which he firmly denies, to a tattoo associated with a Nazi symbol. He says he obtained that without understanding its meaning. He has since covered it up. Do you believe Graham Plattner has the character to serve in the United States Senate?
Listen.
Well, here's what I'll say. Character matters, and that's what I'm saying in this new book that I've written.
He uses it to promote his crappy book nobody's going to read.
The crooked place is made straight, and I think that the voters of Maine have an opportunity to see who they want to represent them in the United States.
There they go. They push it off on the voters of Maine. You could be Satan himself, and they just say, it's up to the voters of Maine. I want you to hear the talking points of the Democrat Party, echoed by Hakeem Jeffries and Raphael Warnock.
Does Graham Plattner have the character to be a U.S. Senator, Leader Jeffries?
Listen, the voters of Maine are ultimately going to be the ones to decide what's in the best interest of the people of Maine. At this period of time, I'm just focused on making sure we take back control of the House of Representatives.
It's not going to happen.
Do you believe Graham Plattner has the character to serve in the United States Senate?
I think that the voters of Maine have an opportunity to see who they want to represent them in the United States Senate. They will decide that.
You know, you are considered a leader within the Democratic Party. Do you plan to campaign for Graham Plattner, Senator?
Come on.
I intend to focus on the people of Georgia.
There you go. I told you this last week. The evolution of their narrative now is to completely ignore Graham Plattner, say that it's up to the people of Maine, and I'm working on my own race for Senate, or I am focused on the people's business or whatever. That is their talking point. Notice, no women now. No women. Did you see any women this weekend on the big talk shows? Women supporting Graham Plattner. Not one dang one of them. Not one of them. Where's Elizabeth Warren? Where are all these Democrat women? Where's Ilhan Omar? Where's Stella, whatever the hell, Presley? Where are all these? They're not. He's done. Stick a fork in him, but make it last as long as possible. Get this close to November so they're stuck with him, and they're going to lose anyway. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
It sucks to be you. Tom Massey, you're through. You're an anti-Semite. On Tuesday night, voters said adieu. Bill Cassidy, too. Bet he's feeling blue. Bill had to go. Voters told him no from every bayou. Indiana was grand. It went just as planned. 7 rhinos were beat. Payback complete. Those traitors got canned. In Georgia, Raffensperger got beat. That's why they say revenge is sweet. It sucks to be you, miserable you. It sucks to be you.
The bottom line is this. Donald Trump is the general of the Republican Party, and the Republican primary voters are his soldiers.
MTG replaced. Herself, she's disgraced. Liz Cheney sent home from the Capitol dome. She got her due. That is why John Cornyn is vexed. He has to know that he is next. It sucks to be you, endangered you. It sucks to be you.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we were meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, might be time to declare your independence from pain. I take Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I'm able to crush it at the gym and ride 30 miles on a mountain bike on Saturday mornings. Relief Factor. It's 100% drug-free, research-based formula designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. It's not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from inside out at the source. Relief Factor was created so people could get back to living life on their terms, walking, working, exercising, enjoying the moments that matter. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. To commemorate, they're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. Yeah, your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. ReliefFactor.com or 800-4-RELIEF.
Now back to the Rob Carson Show, presented by Paramount Plus.
I listened to a little Biggie in the car this weekend. I like a little hip hop. I'll just be honest with you. I know a lot of people like hip hop. It's like no. There's a lot of really good hip hop actually. There's a new kind of movement. It's called Gangsta Grass, and it's hip hop meets bluegrass, and even Snoop Doggy Dogg. Snoop Dogg is got a country song. I know it's crazy. If you listen to like soul and R&B and hip hop, they have a lot of similarity to country and bluegrass. You just don't even know it. You don't even know. You got to listen. Telling you, got to listen. It's all folk music. It is. You're thinking it's just thugs. No, it's not. Democrats think they're absolutely going to kick some butt in the midterms because they're the midterms. That's the only reason. The only reason they have no plan for the country, they have no love of the country, they hate Donald Trump, they've burned their way across the country, they opened the southern border to our enemies, they tried to destroy the country, and they think they're going to win the midterms. Here's Harry Hinton from CNN.
So what are the warning signs here?
Yeah, I think the warning sign is this. Democrats have an edge, but compared to what we see historically, it's really not that big of a lead. I mean, just take a look here. Okay, this is Congress National June polls, Dem leads, and this is NBC News, midterm years with the GOP press. Look at this. They're up by 5 points, but that's half the lead they had back in 2018 when it was 10 points, and less than half the lead they had back in 2006 with 11 points when Democrats took back the House in both of those years. And now the Democratic lead is on a single hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points.
Yeah. As always, because Republicans always freak out. You know, right? You take anything for granted. You're going to cry and lose. The sky is falling. Oh, my God. I got a murder, death, and explosions. Of course, we know this. We are battle-hardened warriors. We know what we have to do. We know what is at stake. We know what they did to our country. We know what we had to do to put Donald Trump back in office. And by God in heaven, we are not going to let it go in the midterms so Democrats can take over and start wrecking the country again. Okay? Okay. So how about quit being a bunch of meow-meows and say, okay, well, let's just kick some butt then. Let's just put the pedal to the metal and stay and revel in the joy that is our country and quit your wah-wang. How's that? I got no time for rhino bullcrap, to be quite honest. Buy some gold, put some silver in your pocket. Everything is more expensive right now. How are you going to afford gold? Well, how about you look at the 401k from a previous employer, which I did. I sold cars, and I had some money, and I said, I want to get on the gold train because I'm going to let it ride for about 10 years. So I said, Birch Gold. I looked at the gigantic growth of gold. 10 years ago, were $1,200. Went up to $5,600 this year. And right now it's in the mid-4s, the mid-$4,000 range. So I said, go, take it, do it. Made it easy, made it simple. Birch Gold give you a little incentive, a little something. A special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you purchase by July 10th. Okay? So just text my name, Rob, to 989898 to take advantage of free America Silver 250 with a qualifying purchase. You're just going to get information. No obligación, just información. Text Rob to 989898 for Birch Gold today. All right. What else did I have here? Oh, I want to play this. This is kind of fun. Sean Ferris. Sean Ferris is he's a brilliant guy. Years ago, I had him on the show, and since then, I'm not taking all the credit, just a good amount of it. Years ago on the show, had him on the show, and he did a Trump impression, but he didn't write any jokes into it. He just did an interview as Trump, and I said, dude, you can't do that. You got to write some jokes. And he just took off, man. He just took off. Here is Sean Ferris celebrating the president's 80th birthday.
This is your favorite president, or as many people will call me today, your favorite birthday boy. The greatest birthday boy in the history of our country.
Yes,
Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
1,000%.
The fake news will never admit it, but I'm the greatest birthday boy the world has ever seen. 80 big, beautiful years of strength, perfection, and greatness.
Yes.
And nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's a lot better than the last president who turned 80 when he was in office, Crooked Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He didn't know who the hell he was. He didn't know where the hell he was. But he knew he liked his chocolate chip, his ice cream, chocolate chip. And Crooked Joe Biden made a chocolate mess on the floor of the Vatican. Remember that? We call it Operation Tootsie Roll. In front of the Pope. You're not supposed to do that. It was the only time the Pope has ever said, holy sugar honey iced tea. What the hell is that? Not supposed to do that. Crooked Joe, what a disgrace. But on my 80th birthday, we're very happy. My doctors, they say to me, sir, your numbers are through the roof, sir. They're going up like a rocket ship. We've never seen better numbers before. What is your secret? I said, I play a lot of golf, and I eat a lot of Big Macs, and everybody thinks the Big Mac isn't good for you. It's been great for me.
There you go. That is Sean Ferris. Just brilliant. Brilliant satire. And again, the left, the reason why conservative comedy is ascending is because the left can't be taken seriously anymore. There we go. Oh, this is good. I got some good stuff here. I got some really good stuff here. Let's do, Spencer Pratt on Friday. He's not going into just disappearing into the darkness. He is going after Karen Bass and nitwit ramen noodles. And here is the tail end of his message to them and what he's got planned.
I know he's very bitter. My goal hasn't changed. I've been laser focused on stopping these commie animals, and I will stop them. If you think we uncovered a lot of fraud and evil in the campaign, just wait. We have some recordings of one of your exalted candidates doing and saying something that would make her resign in shame. I was saving it for the general election. Go ahead and pick your demon, certify your choice, and then you get to see it. So
I think it's got to be Karen Bass, but I could be wrong.
Karen Nithya, ask yourself, is it possible that one of your employees may have a recording of you doing or saying something that would force you to resign in disgrace? Hope you sleep well at night over the next 5 months, because you know who hasn't slept well at all for the last 17 months? My mom. Yeah. All my neighbors in the Palisades. All the moms who worry about their kids walking past drug addicts in front of their schools. All the business owners getting crushed in the LA economy, worried that they can't stay in business and feed their kids. Angelinos have been struggling for years now, all while corrupt politicians and fraudulent NGOs profit off the misery and fleece us for the tax dollars. Well, now we're flipping the script. I want all of you awake at night sweating and worried about 5 a.m. when the FBI blazers bust in the door, breaking open your office, because I assure you, they're coming. You think your election was going to stop me? If you want to stop me,
you're going to have to f***ing kill me!
Woo! Oh, I hope so, man. I really, 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 really hope so. Billy Bush did something real funny. Real funny. It's really funny. I know proper English. Sometimes I occasionally use improper English to make a point. Just want you to know, I know proper English. Sometimes I do it to make a point and sound colloquial. In case you wanted to, because I kind of use language. I like to use language. So here we go. Here is Billy Bush with a hilarious mockumentary about vote harvesting in California.
It's harvest season in California. Not for oranges, not for almonds, not even for votes. For ballots. Across California, ballots are planted a month before Election Day and harvested for weeks afterward.
They are.
The strategy is no longer hidden. The campaign is not won on Election Day. It's won in the collection.
Weird.
California has built something entirely different than the rest of the country.
It's crazy.
A system where 80% of residents vote by mail.
Sure, it's in the up and up.
A system where third parties can collect ballots. A system where political organizations and ground games don't simply persuade voters, they pursue ballots.
Interesting.
The architects call it equal access.
Yeah.
The critics call it harvesting.
Interesting.
Whatever name you prefer, at the very least, it is deeply flawed, if not totally corrupt.
Now, by the way, Michael Knowles did a brilliant piece this weekend about the history of the Democrat Party. I thought really the last 20, 30 years, the Democrat Party started not pursuing the will of the people, rather just using the election system to get them elected so they could unleash things that otherwise people would never be for. They've been doing it for 190 years. I'm going to share that on the other side of the break, so don't go anywhere. This is the Rob Carson Show. Welcome to the show. Come on. I choose my own bumper music. Thought you should know. Just a little bit of funk there on the show. Be careful, this is a family show. Michael Knowles talked about the Democrat Party. He's a brilliant dude. Michael Knowles is a brilliant dude. I do entertainment and punditry. He is just an intellect, and this is a very interesting look at the Democrat Party's history of voting.
On Election Day 2026, insurgent candidate Spencer Pratt looked like he might flip Los Angeles to the Republicans, edging out socialist candidate Nydia Rahman, setting up a runoff between former communist turned Democrat incumbent Karen Bass and the Republican Pratt. But then something strange happened.
Weird.
After 5 days of counting extra ballots, the socialist Rahman came up with just enough ballots.
Yeah, it was weird because all the ballots really just came in for her and not Karen Bass. It was just kind of weird how that happened.
To overtake Pratt. Meaning,
I would never say anything fraudulent happened. I never would. It was purely on the up and up.
That no matter what happened in the runoff, a Democrat would continue to run LA into the ground. How did the Democrats do it?
I don't know.
To answer that question, we need to take a trip down memory lane. The Democratic Party was founded in 1828. Shortly thereafter, party apparatuses such as Tammany Hall institutionalized election theft by stuffing ballot boxes, repeat voting, casting ballots for dead people, bribery, intimidation, absentee ballots, ballot harvesting, and importing voters from outside areas. An audit of a New York...
It's like if all that went away, the Democrats wouldn't win anymore. And guess what? It's all going away.
City election in 1868, for example, found that 16% of all votes cast were fraudulent,
that was a long time
cooked
ago.
up by Democrats in Tammany Hall.
Crazy.
In 1948, Lyndon Johnson infamously stole a Texas Senate seat thanks to the drop of 202 late votes in ballot box 13, giving LBJ an 87-vote victory.
Weird.
That brazen election theft made it all the way up to the Supreme Court, which ultimately didn't want to get involved and washed its hands of the matter. As a result, LBJ went on to become vice president and then president of the United States. In 1994, Democrats tried to steal a state Senate seat in Pennsylvania. On Election Day, Republican Bruce Marks led Democrat William Stinson by over 500 votes.
I remember that.
But the absentee ballots curiously went overwhelmingly for the Democrats.
Isn't that weird how they always happen that way?
Giving Stinson just enough votes.
Joe Biden got millions and millions of votes the day after the election in 2020, and then the battleground states stopped counting the votes, and all of the votes came in for Joe Biden pretty much the next day.
To win overall.
There's no fraud, but whatever.
In that case, happily, a federal judge found that Philadelphia election officials had illegally delivered hundreds of absentee ballot packets directly to the Democrats.
That's interesting.
Who in turn collected votes from people who were ineligible to cast votes.
What?
When they weren't forging the votes outright.
Really?
Democrats ran precisely the same absentee ballot playbook in 2003 in the East Chicago, Indiana mayor's race. Fraud we know about only because the Indiana Supreme Court decided to get involved.
This is educational.
Ordering a new election, which the Democrat fraudster happily lost.
That's crazy.
Democrats' reliance on absentee ballot harvesting became so widespread, especially in states such as Illinois, Arkansas, and Georgia, that the 1982 Illinois elections resulted in 62 indictments and 58 convictions for election fraud.
What? Really? There's no voter fraud?
Involving not only campaign workers, but precinct captains and election officials.
Crazy.
In Chicago alone, a grand jury found that 100,000 fraudulent votes had been cast.
What? There's no voter fraud?
But Chicago had already been a central hub of Democrat election theft for
It always has been.
decades.
Yeah.
Most infamously exemplified by the 1960 presidential election, in which Robert Dallek, a biographer of both John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon, concluded that Democrats, quote, probably stole Illinois from Nixon.
Weird.
In 2020, Democrat politicians infamously changed voter laws throughout the United States.
Well, that sounds like disinformation.
To increase absentee ballots and insecure ballot drop boxes. In some cases, such as Pennsylvania, in violation of the state constitution.
And then they censored us and said we couldn't say that there was maybe fraud or something. They told us we couldn't even talk about it. And we had our Facebook pages taken away the next day after the election.
Despite claims of perfectly secure elections.
Of course, they said it was going to be perfect.
Hundreds of Democrats over American history have been convicted over election fraud, and those convictions represent only a small percentage of cases, which represent only a small percentage of allegations of voter fraud widely acknowledged by historians and really by anyone with eyes.
Yeah. So, they always tell you that the sky is green, and then when you say it isn't, it's blue, then they do their level best to make you feel like a fool. But we're not going to be fooled anymore, are we? I'm done with the Democrat Party trying to make me feel like a fool. It's like an alcoholic when they're covering up their booze and the wife finds a bottle in the back of the truck or something, and he goes, "Well, honey, that was from whatever. How could you possibly think that I would be drinking again?" And then she feels bad about it and stays in the marriage a couple more years. You understand? Trust me, I speak from experience. I was an idiot that way. You're not fooling anybody. You're not fooling anybody. But we aren't going to feel bad about it anymore. You're not going to be able to make us feel bad for believing what should be absolutely obvious. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Veterans and...
I learned that, when you're an alcoholic, and I'm not, because I don't drink anymore. Yeah, but you're still an alcoholic. No, I'm not. But you think you're fooling your sick other when they have a suspicion, and one of the ways that you survive another day as an alcoholic is you cast aspersions and you make the other person feel bad for thinking that you were an alcoholic, when all the while you are. And that's what Democrats use, like origins of COVID. How could you possibly think it, that we paid for that? Well, how could you possibly think that? There's no evidence that it came from the Wuhan lab. Voter fraud in 2020. How could you possibly? There is no voter fraud in this country. I mean, honestly, is that all you got? How could you possibly think that? And then, but it's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. We're aware. We're aware of all this. You're not fooling anyone. Do you understand? You see what I mean? I think it's a pretty good analogy, don't you? It's like a cheating spouse. You find the other woman's underwear or whatever, and then the wife brings it up, and you make her feel bad for feeling that way, for thinking and suspecting you, when all the while it was true, and you're just an a-hole. There you go. The Democrats are a bunch of cheating a-holes. I thought that was pretty good, actually. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about, what are we going to talk about? Oh, yeah. Barack Obama. What an a-hole. Speaking of a-holes. Let's talk about Barack Obama. Hi, Deplorable Dinosaur. Hi, Leslie Lady Hawk. Hi, my Rubbly Roos, Truth Be Told, Sport Tech, Lady Boo, all of you guys back on the I just went on a rant there. I hope you don't mind. 3 minutes, here we go.
Subcontractors are claiming they haven't been paid yet for the work on the project. So many of our black contractors are complaining about they have not got their money. But the other side of it, a lot of the black community and the newspapers do not know that these people have not been paid. Contractors are already in bankruptcy. That's what they're saying, that if it wasn't the fact that they worked on this Obama project, they would not be under this type of problem.
Wow, did you hear that? Taxpayers could be left with a big tab if the Obama Presidential Center experiences financial trouble because its foundation has not yet established a promised $470 million safety net to guard against public bailout. Barack Obama insisted that black contractors be used, and then he stabbed them in the back by not paying them. Isn't that nice? Isn't that something else? That's almost like slave labor or something, isn't it? You're not getting paid, you're having to work? I'm sorry, and it's kind of true, right? Wow. Fox News Digital says that multiple contractors and subcontractors claiming losses ranging from hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions on the project, with some alleging they remain locked in the payment disputes and face financial ruin. In an agreement with the city of Chicago, the foundation promised to create the endowment essentially to a reserve of cash as part of its 99-year sweetheart deal to control the publicly owned 19.3-acre section of Jackson Park for a one-time payment of just $10. I think they might have been late on that one, too. I think the check bounced. The foundation deposited just $1 million into the reserve fund in 2021. The balance hasn't changed. They need $400 million in that sucker. Chicago taxpayers are going to get screwed. The Obama Library was originally estimated to cost $300 million before it was revised up to $500 million in 2017, $700 million in 2021. Now it appears it's going to be closer to $850 million to construct the mammoth gray monolith that looks like the Sandcrawler in the first Star Wars. Executives of the Obama Foundation are the best paid of all cultural centers in the nation. Valerie Jarrett, $740,000. Robin Cohen, Executive Vice President, $600,000. Tina Chen, the group's Chief Legal and Police People Officer, $425,000. And the people of Chicago are getting screwed. The Omar Sharif, his real name, president of the African American Contract Association, said that several black-owned contractors are also racked with financial difficulty due to the project. Isn't that just ironic and unsurprising when you look at the Democrat Party, high-speed rail, homelessness? I can go on and on. What a fitting end to the radio program today. God bless you, America's founded Donald Trump, and our 250th birth of our nation, which is awesome and incredible. Peace is coming to Iran and the Middle East for the first time in millennia. And until tomorrow, which is Tuesday, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus. In the world of espionage, truth is a moving target, and every decision carries a dangerous consequence. This new mission explores what it means to live as a double agent, twice the lies, twice the risk. The lines between ally and enemy blur like never before, and survival depends on trusting no one. Starring Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. Don't miss The Agency. All episodes streaming June 21st on Paramount Plus.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people. Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.